This time we're going to talk about going from general form to standard form. Remember, we said general form wasn't very useful to us because it doesn't tell us the center or the radius. So we can use completing the square to get our general form equation into standard form. So remember, with completing the square, our first step is always going to be to move the constant to the other side. So I'm going to move this 10 by subtracting it. So my new equation, I'm writing it over here so I have more room, x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 12y is equal to a negative 10. Alright, now I got to rearrange the terms to put the x's together and the y's together and add some blanks because we're going to be completing the square. So after the x squared, I'm going to move the 8x over there because they're in the same group, and I'm going to add a blank for when I complete the square. Then I'm going to keep my y's together because they're in the same group, right? And I'm going to add another blank here. Now what I do on one side of the equation I must do to the other. So I added 2 blanks over here because I added 2 blanks here. Now I hope we all remember how to get what goes in here. We're going to end up taking this middle term, dividing it by 2, and squaring it. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 4 squared is 16. So that's how we get what goes in there. Alright, so over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Negative 12 divided by 2 squared. So negative 12 divided by 2 gives me a negative 6. And a negative 6 squared. Negative times a negative gives me a positive. So a positive 36. Alright, great. So I added 16 here and 36 here, so that is what will go on that side. Okay, our next step would be to rewrite these two groups. So I know, and I know this looks kind of funny, but I want to make sure you know where these numbers are coming from. So this group of trinomials right here, we basically completed the square to factor it. So I'm going to make it a binomial squared. And remember, it's always the middle term divided by 2, which is that 4. X plus 4 squared. So if I were to multiply this out, I would end up getting this trinomial right here. Alright, so x plus 4 squared. And I know it's a plus because the 8 is a plus. So what do you think about this y group over here? What will this y group end up giving us? I hope you said y minus 6 squared. Look at the middle term and divide it by 2. And it's got to be a minus because that 12 coefficient is a negative. Alright, is equal to, and then we're just going to add these 3 numbers up. Negative 10 plus 16 plus 36 gives us 42. Alright, so now we're ready to figure out what the center and the radius are. Alright, my center, I'm just going to flip these 2 signs. So instead of a positive 4, it's going to be a negative 4. And instead of a negative 6, it'll be a positive 6. So that's my center. Alright, remember this is always r squared, right? So what I need to do is take the square root of 42. Square root of 42. So it gives us a radius of approximately 6.48 units. Now, if you wanted to simplify this radius in IXL for your IXL homework, I put a link in the IXL folder that helps you simplify radicals like this.